Today we're going to talk about how to solve for compound interest. This is something that you will use in your real life. It helps you make a lot of money in a short amount of time. The steps to it are pretty much multiplying and adding and being able to change a percent to a decimal. So you guys can do all those. It's just very tedious. So here's a video about how to solve for compound interest. So first thing, we are going to use a table this year to break it down for us to keep track of what's happening every year. I'm going to explain what compound interest is as I am solving it because it makes it a little bit more clear for you. So compound interest, this says that $1,800 is deposited into a savings account that earns 5% compound interest for 3 years. So just like simple interest, you have to know your principal, your rate, and your time. Remember, principal is the amount of money that you are starting with. So I'm going to go back into the word problem, and I'm going to underline that $1,800 is deposited. Okay, keyword deposited lets you know that that is your principal. It says into a savings account that earns 5% compound interest. Okay, that 5% is our rate. And remember, we have to change that rate into a percent. Okay, which is what we're going to do here in a little bit. And T is the time in years that you are going to keep your money in the account and not touch it. So it would be for 3 years. Okay, so we're going to go with the table to help us. So we're going to start with year 1. So I'm going to put a 1 in. My starting balance is my principal, how much I'm starting with. So that would be $1,800. Now, just like simple interest, I'm going to follow the formula. So my principal is $1,800 times my rate. Remember, you have to change your rate from a percent to a decimal. So I have 5%. I move the decimal 2 times to the left, and in that open spot, I'm going to put a 0. So my rate is decimal 0.5. And then I'm only watching it for 1 year at this time. So I'm going to put a 1 there. So the next thing I'm going to do after I have my table complete is I'm going to multiply. Well, we know anything times 1 is always that number. So we're going to focus on multiplying 1,800 or 1,800 times decimal 0.5. So I'm going to go 1,800 times decimal 0.5. Now, next I would multiply by 0, but we all know that 0 times anything is always 0, so I'm not going to do that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move my decimal over. So I'm going to move it over 2 times. So my interest earned for that year is $90. So in 1 year, I earned $90. So now we have to do this for 3 years, so we're going to move on down to year 2. So now with compound interest, the way that you make money fast is that your starting balance changes each year. So to get your new starting balance, you're going to take the original or the one from the previous year and the interest earned, and you're going to add those two together. So I'm going to go 1,800 plus 90. So I'm finding my new starting balance. Okay, so now instead of starting with 1,800, I'm now going to be starting with $1,890. So now I'm going to continue with my table. I'm still going to do the principal times the rate times the time. But my principal has changed. My principal is now 1,890, so it has gone up. So I should be making more money for the second year. So I have 1,890 times decimal 0.5. Now, I can multiply it by 1 because you're doing it 1 year at a time, but we all know 1 times anything is always that number. So I'm just going to multiply these two numbers together, the principal for year 2 and the compound interest rate. So now I'm going to go 1,890 times decimal 0.5. Okay, next I'm going to move over my decimal 2 times. So now I've made $94.50. Okay, the reason for the increase is because my starting balance increased. And my starting balance increased because I took the original principal and the interest earned and I added those two together to get you my year 2. Okay, so now we're going on to our last year because we're doing this for 3 years. So I'm going to put in my 3. My starting balance is going to continue to grow because now I'm going to take the starting balance from the previous year and the interest earned, and I'm going to combine those. When I'm combining, I'm going to be adding. So I'm going to do 1,890 plus 94.50. Okay, I'm going to have to make sure to add my decimal and my 0. So I got a 5, a 4, an 18. Okay, I'm almost to $2,000, so that's awesome. So I have $1,984.50 is my new starting balance. So if I continue on with my table, I'm now going to take my new principal, which is $1,984.50, and multiply it by my rate, which is the 5% or the 0.05 or the 500ths. So I'm going to do $1,984.50 times decimal 0.5. So now I'm going to multiply those two. Okay, so I'm going to do 1,000 So I have 5 and 5 is 25. 5 and 4 is 20. 20 plus 2 is 22. 5 and 8 is 40. 40 plus 2 is 42. Then 5 times 9 is 45. 46, 47, 48, 49. Okay. Now this time I have one decimal up there and I have 2 decimals up here. So 1 plus 2 gives me 3 times to move over the decimal. So I have 1, 2, 3. So the interest earned is $99.225. But this 5 helps you to round the 22 up to a 23. So I have 99.23. So my new interest is $99.23. Okay, so now if I wanted to know the total amount of interest earned I would add up the 90, the 94.50, and the 99.23. If I want to know what my next starting balance would be, I would add up the 99.23 and the $1,984.50. So with compound interest, the reason why you are making more money each year is because your starting balance is continuing to increase. Your starting balance is increasing because you are taking your interest earned from the previous year and you are adding it to the starting balance to get this new one. Then I solved for this one. I got this interest earned. Okay, so it went up a little bit. So now I'm going to add this and this to get my next starting balance. Okay, and then that would give me my next interest earned. So because this is continuing to increase, this is increasing. Okay, and vice versa. The starting balance, as the starting balance increases, your interest earned increases. So I highly suggest that you use your table to help you. Yes, I know it's a lot of math, but it is multiplying and adding. Okay, and you just got to keep track with what you are doing. So I hope this video helped you. Look out for another video where we're comparing simple and compound interest. Okay, and remember this when you're older so that you can make lots and lots and lots of money. Okay, bye.